Hey everybody, it's Lawton Chiles. How you doing? I hope you're doing good. We're starting to have people come in here. What I want you to do is shut off all distractions. Turn off Skype, turn off Facebook, because what you're going to be able to do is you need to grab a piece of paper and a pen, because we are going to go through some cool stuff, and you're either going to want to take notes or you're going to want to get your screen capture device set up or something like that. Okay, please do not tune this out again, and I'm silencing my phone so I can be 100% present for you guys, and we are almost ready to start here. Okay, so let's just wait one more minute. And again, in the chat, let me know if if you can see and hear me. Okay, it looks like people can hear me, and people are Orlando. We've got Belgium, dude, awesome. Italy, Orange Park, Florida, my man. I'm not sure where Orange Park is. That's like Winter Park. You should be able to see my first slide, which is me hitting Frank Kern in the face. So the title of this presentation is How I Increase Sales for Frank Kern, Digital Marketer, Sam Cart, and Webinar Jam, using simple frameworks that anybody can use. Okay, and if you just joined us, we are ready to begin. So you should be able to see this first slide here. How I Increase Sales for Frank Kern, Digital Marketer, Sam Cart, and Webinar Jam, using simple framework formulas. Okay, how to find words which make people beg to buy without being annoying or spamming people. My goal in this presentation, that's why I'm asking you to turn off Skype, turn off Facebook, turn off your TV or your cell phone, any other distractions. My goal here is to show you how to stop guessing and discover amazing frameworks and formulas which convert, okay? And that is my whole goal, okay? So you'll see the frameworks and formulas which convert skeptics into buyers, frameworks for sales letters, frameworks for video sales letters, frameworks for emails, and frameworks for Facebook ads. Okay, does that, who is excited about that? Let me know in the chat. Who is tired of sort of slaving away and guessing at what will work, and who just wants to really know what will work? Okay, so people are saying, yeah, F yeah. If you guys are sick of guessing what will work, then this webinar is for you. Ben says ready for it, stoked for it. I guess Ben is pretty stoked and ready for it, and everyone else is here too. Okay, so awesome. So if you're excited, just give me a heck yes in the chat, and we will begin. Because these frameworks are what everybody needs, right? If you are tired of writing sales letters from scratch, if you are tired of writing video sales letters from scratch, really trying to come up with email subject lines that work, if you are tired of trying to figure out Facebook ads that work, then this webinar is for you. Who is guessing when it comes to finding words which compel your audience to buy? I want to know that in the chat. So if you're guessing about which converting copy to use, and I want you to give me a yes or no, because if you're not guessing, I want to talk to you, because you're at an upper level of of copywriting and words that convert. If you're guessing, then you're leaving a ton of money on the table, and that's a big problem, because and I see yes, I have a huge file of can't really read the rest of that, but basically yeah, people are guessing, and people are, I think if you're tired of guessing, then this webinar is for you. And so I want you to make me a promise before we go further. Who promises to stop guessing and start using angles that work? Okay, let me know in the chat. If you are tired of guessing about what's working and you want to have angles that will convert, then I want you to promise me that you're going to use it. Landon says, I promise. And so Harvard says he promises too. So because these are so powerful, and yet so many people don't know about them, okay? And because if you're not using these angles, right? If you're not using these angles which convert, if you're not using these frameworks and formulas which convert, you're basically just spinning a giant roulette wheel, right? You're basically you might as well throw your money down the drain because you don't have access to the right angles which compel people to become buyers. Okay, before we go further, my results aren't typical. Any claims made about monies from these angles and clients helped and things like that, typical. Okay, so this is just for me, my clients, and I think it can help you. So with that, let's go into who this has helped. Okay, so Frank Kern, I've done sales copy for him and frameworks for him and formulas for him. I've helped sell out his Frank Kern Inner Circle. We did a bunch of emails for him, and we're able to increase conversions through helping his wife. His wife has a fitness consulting business. I helped her. I was able to actually help Frank with his registration emails for his Frank Kern Inner Circle, which I think they sold that out. And so we've known each other a long time and worked together. Ryan Dice, a digital marketer, we worked together, and I helped all of his private funnel clients funnel clients, and here's him, basically saying, that I actually have done work for him, so it's not like a fake screenshot or something. Who else has this frameworks work for? John Morrow, right? One of the most popular blogs on the internet, and we've consulted and talked. And then Russell Brunson is just a few of the people that I've worked with to help use these frameworks. Okay, so I hit him up on Skype and I said, hey Russell, I'm tired of paying for ClickFunnels. Like, can I just get it for free if I help you with these frameworks? Okay, and he said yes. Okay, so let's get into the content here. How I increase sales for Frank Kern and digital marketer using simple framework formulas hidden from view until now. Okay, if you stay until the end, you'll get 20 places to grab high converting headlines and email subject lines. So if you're excited about that, then let me hear a yes from you in the chat. So a little bit about me. I got hired to train people's customers. As you've seen before, I've worked with Frank Kern, digital marketer, Sam Cart, and Webinar Jam. Worked with Todd Brown at Marketing Funnel Automation. And in the past 12 years, I've accelerated more copy than anyone else. I've helped over 800 people with their email sales copy and frameworks, either as a group or in large, training materials. And I've used formulas and frameworks pretty much every single day to do this, day in, day out, like clockwork, and it's worked really well. Okay, so I've done a lot of things right in the clients and my own marketing, and I've done a lot of things wrong. And so a little bit about my background: I started selling on eBay. We had a hotel in Florida, and so my mom was like, "Hey, if you sell some of these high-end bedding sheets and comforters that we have, I'll give you some money." I was in college at the time, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I started to sell it, and we sold all of our inventory out that we had that was extra. And so I was like, man, there's probably a art to this of the better you're writing, the higher your conversions. Okay, and so that was sort of my sort of foray into the world of salesmanship in print, otherwise known as copywriting. Okay, and so, but really it's all about the frameworks and formulas that work. But I didn't have a guide. I didn't have a ton of like mentoring. I just sort of, other than coming into friendships with people like Bon Halbert and Ross Bowery, two amazing marketers, I really wouldn't have had the guides, and I really wouldn't have had the expertise that I needed. There was stuff on the internet on how to like write copy or how to write persuasively or sort of sell on the internet, and I bought a lot of that, but it still was a lot of hard work. The first client that I had was this $500 a month Sharky's Coffee in Tallahassee, Florida, this little small coffee shop. They paid me $500 a month. My dad knew their owner, and I was able to go in there and say, hey, I could probably help you with your email marketing. And they did these like coupons and newsletters, and so I kind of went in there and helped them. But it was sort of just me following what I thought would work and what I thought was good, and it wasn't really me really having frameworks and formulas which converted. It was frustrating and it was stressful, especially if there was a deadline, and I didn't really know what to write to make more sales. It was more just of it was more just of, hey, I could probably do better copy than this client, and so let me go in there and help them. And it wasn't that the work was bad or badly done, but it wasn't filled with the type of frameworks that I would use today. I also wrote copy, newspaper ads, and email blasts for the Governor's Inn, which was this hotel that we owned in Florida. And so that was my other sort of local client. So I started off with local clients and just sort of honing my skills and learning my craft, but I didn't really have a roadmap. I didn't really have what I have now, which I know where to go to find all of these frameworks and formulas which convert and which are proven to convert over time. Okay, so does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. And so you can do it the hard way or the easy way. So the process, the hard way is that you're guessing what would work. You're guessing what will work, and that's sort of what I did at the beginning, right? I flew blind. I got some advice from people, but I didn't really know about these frameworks and formulas, okay? And then I sort of hoped and prayed that my campaigns would increase sales and increase conversions, and a lot of times they did, but it still wasn't filled with that confidence. It still wasn't filled with that, hey, I know this formula has proven to convert. Let's say that I sort of studied the salesmanship in print, and I studied copywriting, but basically I didn't really know what I was doing. Okay, I would get advice for certain people, but then I would sort of just basically hope and pray that I was doing things correctly. Okay, and so the first issue we need to solve is the temptation to guess at what's working and think that we need to be an expert to solve that. And the truth is that you don't. Okay, so after doing this for 12 plus years, I've discovered that if you want to get maximum conversions, you need to follow a formula. Okay, you can't just sort of guess, and you can't just sort of even model a winning sales letter. You really need to know the exact formulas and frameworks that work. Okay, and you need to follow a set of rules that are unique to attracting super lazy people. okay? Because I'll say that again, getting someone to give you money is not natural. If you want to increase conversions, you have to entice and romance them. But the good news is there is a process for all of this stuff, okay? And if you're excited to learn that process, then give me a yes in the comments, okay? Because this process has allowed me to be hired and get paid tens of thousands of dollars from people like Frank Kern and Ryan Dice and Andy Jenkins and all the people that you probably know in the marketplace, okay? And so all these people are saying yes, they want to know. Very cool. And so and this stuff works, and you can know, and it works well enough that I'm good friends with these people and I can just mess with them, okay? So if you want the easy way that doesn't require you to guess, then here it is. I'm going to give you dozens of proven formulas which crush it 7 times out of 10 or 9 times out of 10. Now again, these numbers are not exact. If you have the right formulas, you're not going to hit a home run every time. That's just the thing. But the easy way is that I found out, instead of guessing, that I figured out what big media does and I copied them, okay? And then I took advantage of their millions in testing for books, magazines, and I modeled these curiosity bombs that they were using, okay? And so that's one of the coolest things about this whole frameworks process. So secret number one is how do we, now that we know that we need frameworks, right? Where do we actually find these fill in the blank frameworks to sell your products and services fast? Well, one secret that I do is I go into magazines and I go into websites that give me the ability to find this stuff. So this first framework I call the stopper. Okay, so you see this one company Amazon will never compete with. So the stopper subject line, one stock which could outperform Amazon this summer, one webinar framework which will never die, one recipe to rule them all. So does that make sense to you guys? So if that makes sense, type a yes in the subject in the chat box. And so if you get that, the stopper is all about one framework. So in this case, it's one stock which could outperform Amazon this summer, one webinar framework which will never die, and one recipe to rule them all. So do you see how you can model that for your for your emails, for your blog content, and that kind of thing, okay? The next one is, and this is sort of the same thing, is the 4-point plan for getting a raise, right? So if we modeled this one, it would basically be just describing something. So the first one was, the one thing, the one stock which could outperform Amazon this summer, and this next one is the 4-point plan for getting a raise, okay? And does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. And then if how else could you model this in your business? If you have ideas, let me know there as well, because that is what this webinar is all about, is helping you get results. This next one from Cosmopolitan, one of the best magazines to pull stuff out of, okay? And so you see that thing, 5 no-fail pickup lines, 5 no-fail ways to get your Facebook ad account back. And then what you should never say in a dating profile or lose big, and the fastest way to get dumped via text. But that, no-fail ways, so you see that how they're just describing that, and they usually add a number to it, okay? So 5 no-fail ways to get your Facebook account back. 5 no-fail ways to succeed with webinars, even if you've never done one. So you see how that one works. The next one, which I really like and I use all the time in my bullets, in my headlines, in my email subject lines, is the opposite angle. So this one right here, how to find a normal dude on a dating app, right? You see that on the right-hand side there, how to find a normal dude on a dating app. So basically, this is the opposite or contrarian. Angle. Okay, healthy meals in a fast food restaurant, tax tips from a career criminal, and investment advice from a homeless bum. And so this contrarian angle works really well because it uses curiosity and it goes against common wisdom. How many of you think that this would work really, really well in an email subject line or a Facebook ad? And it totally would, because basically you're going against the type. You're going against common wisdom. Third angle is the prediction angle. 2013 love predictions. Will sales letters ever die? I weigh in, right? So in this angle, we're making a prediction about this kind of thing. Is this helping you? Do you really see the power of these angles and how you can finally stop guessing what will work or not work, or what will get your people off the fence? You could give the worst marketer in the world these formulas, and if they're not structured the right way, it could just be sort of empty and not valuable and just sort of corny, and the audience would see right through it. Will sales letters ever die? I weigh in. The 2017 predictions for video. Will it continue to convert? Right? So you could be like, will video continue to convert? Should you use Facebook Messenger bots? Or, I predict Facebook Messenger bots will will die. Is organic traffic dead? Marketers at risk for using Facebook Messenger bots. Okay, these type of things are designed to be curiosity bombs because we're making a prediction, right? Something will or will not happen. You know, will Trump get reelected in 2020? 3 experts weigh in. So again, you could use that 5 no-fail pickup lines. You know, 5 experts weigh in on Trump's reelection chances. So you know, use that 5 ways to do X, Y, Z, and then come in here and add a prediction to it. Okay, this one right here. Are marathons dangerous? You see that white box, and this is from Runner's World. Are marathons dangerous? The truth behind scary headlines. Okay, asking a question, and this is one thing that the question angle put 17 grand in my bank account with running Facebook ads to my sales funnel because I basically asked a question in the top of the ad. So this one, are marathons dangerous? Okay, so are marathons dangerous? Are cell phones dangerous? When you ask a question like this, and this is why these frameworks are so powerful, the question framework, they're very powerful because basically what you can do is basically you're using these frameworks and formulas to convert a skeptical audience to pay attention to your marketing and then to really act on that marketing. Okay, so are marathons dangerous? Are cell phones dangerous? Experts confess. Find the perfect shoe. 21 models tested. Okay, so again, curiosity of is there a perfect shoe? Oh, 21 models are tested. I wonder which one is the best, right? And then that old one, 5 pickup lines tested. Number 3 is terrible. Again, that curiosity bomb of number 3 is terrible. What is number 3, right? And then 5 pickup lines tested, and they're like, man, I wonder which one is the safest bet for me. So does that make sense? Is that something you think you can use to stop guessing in your marketing? This stuff is just so what everyone else is sort of wishing that they had access to, and they're like, well, I don't know like what the right words are. It's not about the right words. It's about the right frame. Frames of affinity, frame of curiosity, frame of losing out, frame of greed, frame of fear, frame of a big promise or a big problem being solved. All this stuff is so powerful, and that's what people have paid me tens of thousands of dollars to do. Okay. Next one here is also from Runner's World, the surprising truth about running and alcohol. Again, surprising angle. The surprising truth about X. So who thinks they can use this? Give me a market, somebody in the chat. Give me a market that you want to use this angle for, and we'll tackle it together. Because okay, client acquisition. All right, so the surprising truth about getting clients to stick for the long haul. The surprising truth about getting clients to pay you for 12 months straight. The surprising truth about celebrity clients. Are they dangerous? And how do you acquire them, right? You can angle it more, right? The three surprising methods. So that's pretty cool. Selling SEO to lawyers, Brandon asked. All right, so selling SEO to lawyers. The surprising truth about ranking, further up than your competitors. So a few places I go to find these is AOL.com, Drudge Report, The Motley Fool, Variety, The Street, Runner's World, Women's Health, Yahoo, Reader's Digest, and then Pop URLs, which Pop URLs is a sort of a aggregator of headlines. And the other one is, this one's cool, BuzzSumo. What you can do right here is you can type in your subject line or a website, and they will give you back some really cool stories from that website. So if we typed in Runner's World into there, it would give us back the most shared stories from Runner's World on social media, right? So it would basically tell us like which topics were most popular for our audience, and that's buzzsumo.com. There is a free thing like 4 or 5 times a day, and then they shut it down. Okay, so does this make sense? You don't have to guess anymore, that you can look for these angles all over the internet, including the websites I just gave you. So give me a yes or a no in the chat if this is helping you, because this is the most powerful stuff. This is the most powerful stuff. Brand says yes, Landon says yes, and then so let's wake up here, guys. I think we're seeing more attentive stuff here. So okay, awesome. That is very cool. All right, so the next thing that we want to cover is, and I want to really drive this home. Does subject lines seem easy now? And give me a yes or no. What about headlines, and what about content for Facebook ads?
It's James Wedmore with JamesWedmore.com, and I focus on teaching YouTube and video to small business owners and basically anybody who knows they need to be using video but they're too afraid to do it. For me, it's taken someone else to help me get inside the head of my customer, and that person is Lawton. Lawton Chiles is not only become a good friend of mine, but he has tremendously helped me with the little things to the big things when it comes to copy. Things like headlines, things like how to start out your email, because he's made such a tremendous impact on my business so that I can keep focusing on serving my audience while he communicates to them properly. So,
am I better than you, James?
No.
All hopped up on coffee. Okay, cool. All right, people are saying yes, yes, yes. Awesome. All right, so that brings to secret number 2. Billions of dollars have been spent by Hollywood and major media on these frameworks. Okay, so, and what do I mean by frameworks? Well, this one framework I used to do around $42,000 with email sales, which I gave to other people. And this framework was the knowledge framework. Okay, and Hollywood is really good at using these type of frameworks. You know, you see it in Rudy and Lord of the Rings and Back to the Future of, you know, unlikely hero makes good. And so this framework that I used for Back to the Future, can anyone guess what this framework is before I tell you how I used it? The letter you're looking at here is the Wall Street Journal letter, which did about $2 billion in subscriptions over the last couple of years. And really, what they did was very, very cool, and I modeled it for my Back to the Future headline. You know, Ben says you tied it in a person as an unlikely hero. Sort of, not really. You know, it was a little bit different than that. But I will tell you, let's see if any other guesses come in here, and then we can go from there. All right, so the Wall Street Journal letter basically says there are two people who worked in the same company. One became a middle manager. You know, they went to the same school, they married in the same town, all this stuff. One became a middle manager, right, and the other became the president of the company. What made the difference, right? You see that right there, what made the difference? And the difference was one of them read the Wall Street Journal and one of them did not. So this angle is the knowledge angle, that knowledge made the difference. One person, knowledge is power right there. So one person read the Wall Street Journal and implemented it, the other one did not. And so that's the same thing that I did with the Back to the Future angle, which I gave to a bunch of people. And Peter said I got 11 sales for a one-day event, sent out Back to the Future yesterday and 2 mails today. So basically, thanks Lawton, appreciate it. So, and then, you'll see other people are saying thanks and, this is awesome. And so this knowledge is the same thing I used for my Back to the Future angle. So that the framework is 88 miles an hour. All right, and why do you guys think I use that as a subject line of 88 miles an hour? Who can tell me who can tell me what that's about? And if you've seen the movie, you understand, why I did it. Yep, people already, people already, they know that. If they know the movie, they know Back to the Future, and they're like, what is this about, though? I've heard 88 miles an hour before. Why is he telling me this? Okay, and so the reason why this happened is the email says, remember Back to the Future. It's such an epic film, one of my favorites, okay? So I asked them if they remembered it. If you don't remember it, here's a refresher. A young man is accidentally sent back in time, 30 years into the past, and it was a wild ride and full of epic twists and turns. It gave us a glimpse of what the future could hold. And today, I wish I could go back in time to give you one thing, one key to unlock your business fast, right? And then I go into, transformation from here to there. Landon says that's absolutely right. So my email basically says, and today I wish I could go back in time to give you one thing, one key to unlock your business fast. Even though I don't have a DeLorean, you see if I could go back 1 year ago and give you whatever it is you're selling, right? And then it goes on to list a bunch of benefits it goes on to list a bunch of benefits of what they did, right, or what the training will do.
His name is Lawton Chiles. He lives in Atlanta, Georgia. He was recently voted People Magazine's 75th most sexiest man for 2016. We're going to bring on the lovely and talented, I say that so sincerely, he's just a beautiful man. So ladies in the audience, if you could eliminate any inappropriate cat calls, I would appreciate it because he doesn't like to be objectified. All right, dude, so I've got your template up and the members can see this sucker. Tell me the story of this. Tell me what's going on. What's so cool about this dang thing and how can our homies deploy it and get money? So you're telling me this, like a single email sent once has done 30K on multiple occasions. Results not typical. No one should give us any money ever.
So the guy who used it first was selling baseball bats.
Baseball bats. Thank you so much, sir. And you're on You're teaching us some copy stuff. In a couple weeks, I believe. We've got you as a featured guest on Facebook Live in our members only group.
That's the rumor.
That is the rumor, and we'll get those dates out to all of our homies. So I think you just heard me mention that we're going to have Lawton teach a special copy class in the Facebook members group. We'll do that via Facebook Live. Video will be sweet.
And just to prove to you that the most boring angle in my arsenal, which is the knowledge angle, can be used multiple times. So we just looked at the Wall Street Journal, how they use knowledge as the differentiation between who succeeds and who fails, right? And we use that is in the Back to the Future example, which has done $45,000, right? Or more, because a lot of people don't report sales numbers to me, so I don't know the exact number. It's probably more than that, but just to be on the safe side of, you don't want to overinflate, really. Okay, so, and this is the third example in that framework, which is the knowledge angle, the knowledge framework, which is famous president, $300,000 in overdue library fines. Okay, so this is another email written about George Washington. Copy below, it says, toward the end of the 18th century, George Washington borrowed a few books from the local library. And I guess he never got around to returning the books. Turns out a bunch of newspapers did some research on the material. The books were never returned, and in today's money, it would have been worth $300,000 in overdue library fines. It goes on to bridge the gap between the fact that George Washington read, it looks like he was a voracious reader, right? He read all the time. I don't know about you, but that's a hefty sum to pay for educating yourself, okay? But George Washington probably would have paid the full amount back with interest, and he never stopped trying to gain an advantage in whatever field he was trying to be great in, and you should be no different. That's why this framework is so awesome. It says, George Washington was willing to pay for knowledge. You should be no different. It says in the next example, it goes on to make that transition into what I want them to do. Okay, so his education never stopped, neither should yours. That's why, in the spirit of chasing education and chasing marketing perfection, and then I go on to pitch my newsletter, right? Reap the rewards of fast action. There's language in there like this is ripped from the trenches of what's working right now. And again, it's that unfair advantage. It's the unfair advantage George Washington was chasing when he was looking for the knowledge in the library. That's the same advantages that you can have in your marketing if you buy the Lawton Chiles Inner Circle newsletter, right? So you see how I'm framing this as the missing piece of knowledge that they have. And so that's why the second example of knowledge in the Back to the Future emails that I gave to Frank Kern, in this George Washington example, this is just one angle out of hundreds that you can use for your marketing and advertising.
The framework of, hey, if I could go back in time and give you one thing, it would be this knowledge, it would be this program, it would be, this is the thing that sets you apart, right? This is the thing that sets you apart, okay? Does that make sense? It sounds like it does. And without further ado, let's go on to the third secret, how to craft a red-hot sales message, which not only resonates with readers, but ends up with actual buyers, even if you hate selling and aren't a pro writer. Okay, so because really, who hates writing? I want a yes or no in the comments before I go on. Who really hates to write sales messages and sales copy? Most people, I would say, they hate it. But I want to get your feedback here, and if everybody could chime in. Some people love it. Ben says I love it. Landon says I hate it. Who else hates it? Before we go on to how to put these angles into practice with your sales message. Okay, people are saying I love it, I hate it. There's different things here. Okay, but for a long, I either love it until I'm up with a tight deadline, and then I'm like, oh, I sort of hate it. But deadlines are really hard, says Ben. And it's all about the framework. Okay, so secret number 3: how to craft a red hot sales message which not only resonates with buyers but ends up with resonates with readers but ends up with actual buyers, even if you hate selling and aren't a pro writer. So who's ready for this secret? Give me a yes in the comments, and we will look at this. This is a framework where it's really the curiosity framework, right? We're really hammering in here. We're really hammering in here on the credibility angle and the curiosity angle. Bonhoeffer reveals a weird little 7-minute subject line trick. So again, specifics. Remember that 5. Okay, so notice the specifics of forcing people to open your emails. Let me just make sure that you guys can see that. Okay. So this is the one that Frank. This is the one that I modeled after. I modeled mine after Frank's. Okay. And so you'll see there in a second that basically, this framework is sort of the same thing as this right here, how to run an advertising agency, okay? And so the main framework there is, that they're going to learn something if they read the ad, right? They're going to learn something if they read this, how to do X, Y, Z, even if nobody's heard of you. And then Frank is using this sales letter to get client consultings fast. And so every piece of this letter is inside of a framework. The subhead's exactly what you're getting, and it's about more than just consulting, right? And then basically I've used this for mine, how to get 52% open rates, even if you don't know what to write, to make more sales. So you see how mine, and then this one, how to sell high-ticket consulting services, even if nobody's ever heard of you. So how to get awesome result without bad thing happening, or how to get awesome result without, doing something that you hate to do. Okay, and I just want to make sure again that you can see these slides. And this will be the most important, letter you read all year. Okay, if you want to skyrocket not only your email results but have amazing formulas for headlines and body copy as well, this will be the most important letter you read all year. So the if-then framework. Okay. And then following the formula, it warns them, okay? So before we go further, let me make something crystal clear. This information is not one of those get-rich-quick trainings. So every piece of this letter is chunked down into very small chunks that anybody can read and understand, but it follows a framework because basically I want to kick away tire kickers. This headline is sort of hypey, and so in this, in this sort of hypey world that we live in, how to get 52% open rates, even if you don't know what to write to make more sales, that could attract someone who is not a great fit for my stuff. So that's why right away I warn them, right? I'm warning them that, hey, this isn't a get-rich-quick, this isn't a get-rich-quick program. This isn't a get-rich-quick system. This can help you, but so that every piece of this letter, there's a reason for it, okay? Especially these bullet points, okay? Because these are the bullet points. This is describing the product, okay? So these are the bullet points, and these questions are basically, these bullet points are designed to sell the product for me, okay? These bullet points are designed to sell the product for me. And so just a fraction of what you'll discover inside of, cut out for a minute. Okay, cool. All right, so here's just a fraction of what you'll discover inside of Simple Subject Line Secrets. And then look at these bullet points right here, okay? So I'm going to make this full screen again, if that is cool. Okay, so 7 amazingly overlooked websites we use to craft simple subject lines that force people to open your emails. The easy way to add sexy powerful buying power to almost anything you write. How to use these secrets to immediately write compelling subject lines. We break everything down step by step for you live on video, okay? And so each bullet is following a framework, okay? Every single bullet is following a framework. I didn't come up with these bullet formulas myself. They're from other people, but they're doing the selling for me. Does that make sense? Give me a yes or no in the comments. Okay, and so the cool thing about this is that these frameworks are being used to sell this entire funnel and all of these products. So about 10 to 14% are buying the Simple Subject Line Secrets from that framework, and then the checkout line, the checkout page. You can see the bullets. The bullets are even that follows a formula. The bullets are on the checkout page, okay, and all of those testimonials, things like that. Then about 16%, 10 to 16% buy my $200 email secrets templates, right? So, and this is cold traffic who does not know me, okay, and then about 3% take the payment plan, okay. But basically all of these frameworks, where the first thing on the left, which is the sales letter, then the checkout page, then the upsells, is working to cold traffic, okay, and that's all. I put $1 in and I'm getting $2 to $3 back out. It fluctuates, but sometimes during the holidays, Facebook will do some weird stuff, and ads will work and then not work, and you have to sort of rearrange things. But basically, every single step of this funnel is following a framework, right? Is following there's a reason why the upsell is structured a certain way. There's a reason why the sales letter is structured a certain way, okay? And so does that excite you? Does that give you something that you can understand and you can put into practice? Okay, so again, the sales letter has a framework, and then the upsells, there's multiple ones, have a framework. I actually frame them as tutorials. Okay, so in the past hour or so, nearly, would you agree that this has been time well spent so far? Have you learned something that can help you increase your conversions? So I can't cover everything you need in an hour, even if we had all day long. So I do have a special offer. You can get everything you need to know and harness for higher conversions more often.
I'd like to dramatically increase your sales and conversions by offering you the same blueprint I gave to Frank Kern, Ryan Deiss, Russell Brunson, and others. The first thing I'm going to do for you with this blueprint is personally help you to create a plan that brings in immediate money into your business. This happens by implementing a few little known but very effective advertising and marketing tweaks that are very powerful. There is no charge for this, and it only takes about 45 to 90 minutes for us to do together. After doing this type of thing straight for almost, it says 13 years, but it's really 15 years, I've gotten pretty good at fast results. Anyway, I'll do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, telling you what to send to increase conversions, position your offer, and how to bring in more back-end sales in as well. After this initial planning session, one of three things will likely happen. One, you love the plan we work on together, and you decide to implement it on your own. If that's the case, I wish you the best of luck and ask you stay in touch and let me know how you're doing. Number two, you love the plan we worked on together and ask to become my client so I can personally help you execute, maximize, and profit from it as soon as possible. Number three, if that's the case, we'll knock it out of the park, and that's a promise, okay? So in the unlikely and unprecedented event that you feel like you've wasted your time with me when we go over the blueprint together and we personally craft it together, I'll personally give you 10 new email templates for you to use in your marketing, including my $45,000 Back to the Future template, which I've crafted and given to so many other people, and I'll give this to you absolutely for free. And this has only been in a select case where a few people have gotten this, but I'm going to show you how to get it for free. So no questions asked, okay, on this. If you feel like your time is wasted, and since I respect your time, I want to really give you this guarantee. So if we get on the phone together and we map out a plan for your business and you feel like your time was wasted, just let me know and I'll give you the 10 email templates right then and there. Your time is your most valuable asset, and I respect that. It really is that simple, and there's no catch. There's no high pressure sales pitch at the end of this phone conversation. Think about this. The worst that can happen with spending time with me is that you get 10 new emails to profit from and conversion strategies for wasting 45 minutes of your time. The best that can happen is we work together one-on-one to increase sales and profit several times over. So that's why this is the closest thing to easy and free money you'll ever see. Here's how it'll work. First, we'll get on the phone one-on-one and go over your business. It's just me and you on that Skype conversation. I'll take a look at what you've got, what you're doing now, and what you want to achieve moving forward. Once we have those raw materials, I'll help you come up with a strategic plan of action to immediately increase your profits dramatically. And let me outline that because there are a number of ways I might do this for you. I don't want to just say, hey, we'll help you increase your profits without giving you some examples. One example is I might show you how to restructure your offer so more prospects take you up on it, how to easily put more money into your hand from each sale, just like McDonald's does, or how to reactivate your past customers who might have gone to some other competitor or stopped doing business with you for some reason. And if you have a list of prospects, we're bound to whip up a quick promotion you can run within days and have the cash register ringing over and over and over again. And like I said, there's no charge for this phone conversation and blueprint. So why would I give this to you for free? Two reasons. First of all, I enjoy this. This type of thing is what I do best. And it makes me very, very happy and super excited to see someone like you achieve financial success and all that comes with it as a result of the help that I help you with, the help that I give you, okay? And second of all, this is how I attract top-level clients. Here's how that process works. Assuming you're happy and you want me to crank out these types of plans for you all the time, you'll probably want to continue working together for the long term so I can help you implement these strategic plans immediately. If this is the case, I might invite you to become a consulting client of mine. And look, if you don't want to become a client, don't worry about it. You won't get any sales pitch or pressure from me of any kind ever. In fact, here's my he is crazy promise to you right now, right here. You'll find our conversation to be incredibly valuable, or I'll give you $3,500 worth of my email templates and frameworks to compensate you for your time. Now, obviously, this is an offer which you'll probably never see from any other marketing consultant in the world. Think about it. I'm personally generating a profit plan for you up front for free, and then letting you pay me later if and only if we decide that we're a good fit to work together long term. Plus, I'm taking it one bold step further by guaranteeing you'll find this free plan immensely valuable, or I'll flat out give you $3,500, $3,500 or more worth of products and services and resources from me. Just tell me that you want it and it's yours. No questions asked. And who else has the guts to offer you a deal like this? Pretty much nobody in the marketplace. Okay, I checked around. I haven't really seen this too many other places. But I'm happy to put it on the line like this because my consulting clients always get great results if they implement things, period. After all, I'm the guy that internet marketing gurus and marketing leaders turn to in a pinch to clarify their message, boost their response, and fatten their bank accounts and wallets. My stuff works, and I know that if we work together, you'll make money, have a greater reach and influence, have more people trusting you, listening to you, and ultimately buying from you. Okay, so consider this. Over the past 15 years, I've generated sales and leads for some of the internet's biggest names. This is why I'm sought out by folks like Frank Kern, Brian Moran, Bond Halbert, Ryan Dice, Perry Belcher, Digital Marketer, John Carlton, Andy Jenkins from Webinar Jam, James Wedmore, Amish Shaw, Mike Koenigs, Trey Smith, Justin Brooke, and many more. Even better, not too long ago, I increased a client's lead getting page by 170% and made him an extra 25 grand in just 7 days. And all we did was change about 7 words on his pages, okay? Anyway, as you can imagine, this will be very popular and a lot of people will see this and people will start to respond to it, I imagine. And that's why I need you to read this next part carefully. This is not for everybody. So here's who I can help with this consultation call and blueprint. I'm very picky about who I'll speak with, and I've got a strict but reasonable set of criteria that needs to be met in order for us to proceed. Here it is. You have to have a solid business already. Okay, that means that this is for people who are up and running already and simply want to run a lot faster and a lot farther. That means you need to have a list. You need to be making sales. You should have already have promotions, sales letters, and be present in your market. I won't work with beginners who are going after low-hanging fruit and selling $5 or $10 products. Okay, so there's no shenanigans, no funny business. You've got to have already taken a few steps and we can run the first couple miles together. Number 2, you must have a steady flow of leads and customers. This means you're getting consistent website visitors and making sales already. You're running ads, you're promoting, and you're selling stuff, okay? So you must have a list of customers. It doesn't have to be a huge list, but it has to be a responsive list. And you must have a good, solid product and a good reputation, okay? You can't be selling like pornography or multi-level marketing or sort of I'm a life coach who helps life coaches. Everything we do together will not only be bringing you more sales and products, but we'll also be doing it in a way that creates massive goodwill in your marketplace. So in order to really help you, you need to have your act together. In other words, you need to be legitimate, okay? And you must follow directions, okay? So don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to do anything weird. After all, if you don't actually implement the stuff I give you, you won't make money. And so that's it. That's all my requirements. Okay, so here's what to do next. If you meet the criteria above and would like to talk to me personally about getting you incredible results, including outlining a blueprint of the frameworks and formulas we just looked at in this webinar, then I'll happily set aside some time for you. Here's how the process works. First, you'll need to fill out an application. Don't worry, it's simple and unobtrusive. It doesn't cost anything. I just need to know what you're selling, get an idea of where you want to accomplish, and so forth. Here's what will happen after that. Once I have your application, I'll contact you and set up a time for us to talk if I feel like we're a good fit. Our initial call will be between 45 and 60 minutes. And this is where we really begin working out to figure out exactly what you want and how to make it happen. Okay, I'll painstakingly review your goals, your offers, your copy, and I'll deliver a plan to bring in money immediately. If you see the value of becoming a high-level client, great, we can talk about it. And if you don't want to become a client, that's okay too. In fact, here's my high-pressure pitch for you to become a client, okay? Would you like my help implementing the plan we just came up with together? And you respond yes or no. That's totally it. Like, there's nothing else. There's no, boiler room or sales team that you're going to get on the phone with. It's me and you together. Okay, by the way, I've never had anyone feel like their time was wasted, ever. That's why I can make this offer I deliver for you. Would anyone else take such a risk? But I need to warn you, time is a factor on this, okay? So this opportunity is extremely limited because I'm only one person. I can't talk to like 17,000 people a day or anything, right? So it's the intense one-on-one time is needed to prepare for the calls and provide you with results on the calls. Therefore, it's physically impossible for me to work with more than a handful of people. That said, know that the window of opportunity won't be open long, as people will take advantage of this. So if you feel like this is right for you, click below, leave your application, and let's talk. I can't wait to help you. I can't wait to see what happens. If you feel like this is right for you, then click below, leave your application, and we'll talk very, very soon, within the first probably 48 hours. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.